talking Colorado recruiting. Will the mounting losses impact Coach Prime's ability to bring in the talent he needs for this program to take the next step? This weekend, the Buffs brought in some recruits that could make an immediate impact at positions of need. We're going to talk about it all in this video. Colorado fans, hit subscribe. We got a lot to cover. Hit subscribe on 3 Recruits channel. Thank you. Okay, let's bring on our first guest, Sam Spiegelman, national recruiting analyst here at On3. And Sam, you had a chance to speak directly to Dron Miller coming off of his big visit to Colorado over the weekend. Now, Dre'lon's a 4-star wide receiver prospect that was committed to Texas A&M for a while, but decommitted 2 weeks ago. What are you hearing? Well, not what are you hearing, but what did Dre'lon say to you coming off this visit to Colorado?
Yeah, this visit has been in the works for a while. So he finally got a chance to go out to Folsom, a chance to see Boulder. A couple of weeks ago, after he decommitted from A&M, Coach Prime went out to small town Silsbee, Texas, Southeast Texas, for those who don't know at home, which was a big deal to that small little community. So Dre'lon Miller, very excited to go to Colorado, the first of 3 visits this November, gets a lot of quality time with Coach Prime. Coach Prime tried to guard Dre'lon before the game. A lot of one-on-one time trying to say, hey, you see what we're doing with Travis Hunter and Shadur. Look what happens if we can add more pieces, more talent like yourself, Dre'lon, and there's an open opportunity if you want to come here and compete for a starting job right away. And I think that really caught Dre'lon's attention. He's not considering too many schools. He's keeping an open recruitment, and Colorado was the first to kind of wow him this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said he has 3 visits set for the month of November. What are the other 2?
Yep, he's already been to Colorado. This coming week, he'll head back to Baton Rouge. You'll remember he was at LSU right before he decommitted from A&M. And then he'll get to USC on the 18th. Like LSU, USC was also a finalist for Dre'lon Miller before he pledged to A&M over the summer.
Yeah. All right. One last question on Dre'lon. Stack the teams in order for me. How do you think, coming out of this visit to Colorado, how do you think his recruitment stacks up?
Yeah, I think, you have to consider Colorado a player, but the attention shifts now to these next 2 visits. Like I said, the Tigers and the Trojans were 2 and 3 behind Texas A&M when Dre'lon committed to the Aggies over the summer. LSU's wide receiver coach, Cortez Hankton, is a college friend of Dre'lon's dad. It's about 3.5 hours from where they live in Silsbee, Texas. And of course, USC and Lincoln Riley have the most prolific offense in the country. They're always going to have great quarterbacks. And how many points did they score this past weekend? 40. I think Dre'lon's excited to get back out to the Coliseum, talk to those coaches one more time and see what they have in store for him. My RPM is on LSU, and I think it kind of comes down to them and the Trojans in the end.
All right. Now, 5-star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton was also in town. Seaton is going to appear on the Inside Scoop. We're set to do an interview with him later today. I don't think he's gone on the record with anybody yet since he left Colorado yesterday, but I was able to exchange a few texts with him. He tells me that he brought his family out there, which I think is interesting because his entire family has not been on any visits. His uncle has been on a few with him, but not the entire family. So Colorado gets him out the second time this season. This was an official visit. We'll see what he says, but I think it was very important for him to come out this week, and especially after Coach Prime had said in his post-game press conference last week that they need better offensive linemen. This one, though, is going to be a dogfight because Jordan Seaton, the number 1 ranked offensive tackle in the country, also has Alabama, Florida, Oregon, and then Ohio State. So I think those teams plus Colorado are really the main players now, and we'll just have to see what happens down the stretch. But stick to the On3 Recruits channel, as we will very likely have Jordan Seaton himself telling us what he did on that Colorado visit and where the Buffaloes stand. So stay tuned for that later this week. All right, wanted to shift gears right now to Cam Michael. I know he wasn't at Colorado over the weekend, but the big news here is he is officially set a decision date. Now, the Statesboro, Georgia 4-star corner, well, he's really a 2-way athlete, is choosing on Thanksgiving, November 23rd, between Tennessee, Colorado, South Carolina, Kentucky, Texas A&M, and Georgia. He's a top 100 prospect, the number 9 ranked corner in the country. Steve Wiltfong had a little bit of news this morning on Cam Michael over at 24/7 Sports. He is returning to Colorado this weekend for a game against Arizona, and then Cam Michael will also visit Tennessee before his decision. So, Sam, do you think that Colorado can go back into the state of Georgia and pull Cam Michael, this insanely talented two-way athlete? How's the start of college football season been for you guys? I know the games have been great, but you know what's not great? Finding last-minute tickets. Finding tickets before a game can sometimes be a nightmare, and do not let this be the way that your season goes. That's why I'm here to tell you about Game Time. It's the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the big-time matchups. Game Time will get you to this year's biggest college football games with elite deals on last-minute tickets and the best price guarantee. Do not stress over getting into your team's favorite game, the biggest rivalry game of the year. There's only so many games you can go to, and you need to get these tickets at the best prices. Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Guys are terrible at that. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Game Time, they have deals on tickets even after an hour after the game starts. It is the place to get last-minute ticket deals. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets on all sports and even concert events. So here's what we're going to do. Snag the tickets without stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code INSIDESCOOP for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code INSIDESCOOP for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, follow the visits. He was in Georgia, the hometown team, this past weekend.
Yep.
Georgia has really dialed up the push on Cam this past his senior year, getting him on campus, and then he sets a date. Getting him back on campus for Colorado, of course, looms incredibly large. We've talked about this in the past, but Cam, even though he's one of the blue chip cornerbacks in this recruiting class, you go to Colorado and you have the opportunity to make plays on both sides of the ball like he does at Statesboro High School. And I think that's why Colorado is going to have a seat at the final table with Cam Michael. He's also going to get back to Tennessee, which of course is one of the favorites down the stretch as well. I think he has 6 finalists, but Georgia, Colorado, and also Tennessee, the way that they've been recruiting him and the way that these visits are going to play out down the stretch leading into Thanksgiving, I think you have to keep an eye on Colorado along with those 2 other teams.
Yeah. All right, let's stay in the state of Georgia and talk about edge King Joseph Edwards. Now, you put in a pick on the recruiting prediction machine, so did Chad Simmons for Colorado. Do you think a loss, he was in town for the loss against Oregon State in Boulder. Do you think a loss like that impacts Edwards' decision? Because he's clearly trending towards Colorado, but does a recruit see a loss differently than maybe a fan or even an analyst?
Yeah, I think, if you're an adult like yourself or me at home and you think about a team losing with one of its star top priority targets on hand, you think, oh, there goes the recruitment. They lost all their momentum. It's not the case. Like you said with Jordan Seaton, Deion Sanders had guys like Seaton and King Joseph on campus, guys, blue chippers in the trenches as they try to restock the Colorado roster. So it might be a loss in the win and loss column. It might be a really great opportunity for Deion Sanders to say, hey, King Joseph, look at what we are missing on the defensive side of the ball. Look at what your presence could offer to us. And like we talked about with Dre'lon, there might be an opportunity to compete for playing time sooner rather than later. So while it might be a loss in the wins and records column, it might be a win in the recruiting column.
Yeah, it could be, because with recruiting, you have to sell hope. You have to sell excitement that's coming. And in year 1 for Deion, you can do that pretty easily. But I do think Coach Prime and the Buffaloes have to step it up on the recruiting trail. As it stands now, Colorado has 11 commitments toward their 2024 class, ranked number 49 in the On3 industry team rankings. That's not going to cut it. But I know they're not going to take a full 25, so I'm not saying that they need to be in the top 10 or even top 15. But they are going to take a handful more, probably up to 6 or 7, and they got to start winning some of these battles for the difference makers. Who am I talking about? Difference makers are recruits like a Jordan Seaton, a Dron Miller, Cam Coleman, Cam Michael. Coach Prime can't just sit there and think that top recruits are going to come to him. He's got to start doing some in-home visits. I don't know if this is true. But the only one that I know he did last cycle was Cormani McClain. Now, maybe he did a couple more, but I think that's the only in-home visit he did. Now, there could be different reasons for that because of Deion's health and everything going on at the time. But this time around, he's going to have to do more. A head coach, they're allowed to use one day to see a recruit face-to-face. But within that day, you can have as many contacts as you want. So when we talk about big-time recruiting, for example, we'll see Jimbo Fisher or Kirby Smart. Say he's meeting with the recruit at IMG Academy in Florida, but then his mom lives in Connecticut. Kirby and Jimbo, they're going to hop on a private jet from Florida in the morning to Connecticut to go have dinner with the kid's mom 10 states away. So, Sam, do you think that Coach Prime can recruit at this elite level and battle some of the blue blood schools for top recruits?
Well, he's going to have to if he wants to get Colorado where he wants that program to be. Like you said, it's what he did last year with Cormani McClain. That's the blueprint. But like you said, it was only one recruit. If you're going to change the culture of Colorado's program, which he's doing, but also upgrade the talent on the roster, you need more than just one of those difference-making talents. Schools like Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia get more than one difference-making recruit per year. So Deion's going to do it. Like you said, he's got to put in the effort. He's got to land more than just the Cam Michael. He's got to make a play for Jordan Seaton and King Joseph Edwards and Dre'lon Miller. You want to get those blue chippers and build a talented roster that has multiple guys. You have to win those key battles, and we've seen him pull rabbits out of his foot. No one thought that Cormani McClain was going to end up playing his college football out in Boulder. We know that Deion is capable of it. Now he just has to put that plan into action, and I think this is a great opportunity for him as we've seen him lay the groundwork throughout the season.
Yeah, this team doesn't need just one or two good recruits. They got to acquire some real talent at both the high school level and the portal level. And really, I'm not being critical. I'm excited. I do think Coach Prime and the Buffaloes will recruit better down the stretch. I think that we will see them turn it on because recruiting season is Coach Prime season. So we're looking forward to that. Sam Spiegelman, thank you for dropping by the Inside Scoop. I'm going to go talk some Gator recruiting right now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.